Yes, I'm in my car. I'm actually traveling right now, but I just wanted to give a brief thought about, do we really need college? Now, yeah, we do, because we still need people like doctors and lawyers and educators, among other things, architects, designers. But those jobs aren't for everybody. In fact, there are a lot of people who aren't really good in a classroom, and they enjoy working with their hands. They enjoy building things, making things work, pulling things apart and putting them back together. Those are the people I'm talking to. Society tells us that going to college is the only way to earn a good living. You go to college, get your degree, get a job. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's supposed to be. But I believe that's not necessarily the way it's supposed to be. In fact, we've got so many skilled positions that are in need right now. It's crazy. So we're going to discuss, first of all, the employment outlook for skilled positions, the need for skilled workers, and we're going to wrap it up with just a few thoughts. So let's talk about the potential outlook. Plumbers and pipe fitters, steam fitters, etc. There is a projected growth of 21% up through 2022. Those jobs are going to be growing faster than the average of any occupation. Not nurses, not doctors, not teachers. Plumbers, pipe fitters, and steam fitters. Projected job growth, 21%. That's from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. HVAC technicians, also from Bureau of Labor Statistics, tells us that through 2020, there's a potential 34% increase. That's based on a need for understanding of new climate controls. And electricians are expected to grow as much as 20% also through 2022. Homes and businesses are requiring more wiring. Electricians will be needed to install all these necessary components. So plumbers, pipe fitters, steam fitters, HVAC technicians, that would be people that work on your air conditioning and heating, and electricians are expected to grow through 2020 and into even as far as 2022 in the double digits, in the 20+%. In a Forbes article from 2013, it tells us that registered nurses, engineers, web developers aren't the occupations that are growing. Welders, electricians, machinists, plumbers, etc. In fact, there was an 18.6% between the ages of 55 and 64, according to the Virginia Manufacturers Association of Skilled Trades, of 55 to 64, ages 55 to 64, 18.6%. That's one of the reasons why we're seeing the necessity. They're aging out. The people in those trades are getting older and they're retiring sooner. These jobs are more demanding, so you can't continue to work into your 70s and 80s like some people do. Definitely not in the 80s. And into the late 60s and early 70s is even pushing it in some of these jobs because of the conditions that you work in. The body can't take it. So contrasted to the overall labor force, where 44% of workers were at least 45 years old, and 15.5% of jobs were held in the 55 to 64%. The statistics for the skilled trades, those numbers are not there because of the toll it takes. So the growth for these positions is great. Vocational and technical school is the way to go for a lot of people. So that brings me to what my main thought is that for people who enjoy working with their hands, for people who don't think that another 4 years, even as much as 6 or 8 years in some cases, is the way to go for them, these are the jobs they should be looking at. This is the training they should get. So I submit to you that for those who enjoy that type of work, look at a vocational school. In his 18 months or less, in a lot of cases, you can be out in the workforce with the proper training to make a good living. Median wages in many of these positions, also according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, is in the $25 range. That's the median. The longer you're in your position, the higher it gets. You could be making $40 to $50 an hour. Think about that. If you're making $25 an hour in a 40-hour work week, that's $1,000 a week, $52,000 a year on just straight regular time. If you're in the types of positions that get overtime at $25 an hour, you're going to be making a lot more than that. Teachers don't make that much in a lot of cases until they've been in their position and into the 20 and 30 year range. If you're making $40 to $45 an hour on the standard work week, you're making, I don't know, say $40 an hour over a 40-hour work week. Do the math real quick. What, $1,600 a week? Think about it. So let's look back at what we learned. We learned that there's growth there because the people in those skilled jobs don't stay in the jobs as long because it's harder on the body. The jobs are expected to grow because of the need for more things. Homes with will always need air conditioning and heating. More and more homes are increasing the needs for wires, for wiring. Businesses need more than that. Plumbers, everybody needs a plumber, right? Everybody that has plumbing at some point, well, to begin with, it's got to be put in. Second, it's going to break and it's going to need to be fixed. Those are the jobs that are growing. The people that work in those jobs, as they get older, they go ahead and retire and move on, and more people need to step in. And the pay is really good for those that don't think 4 to 8 years in college is the way for them to go. Check it out. Forbes magazine, a March 2013 issue, Bureau of Labor Statistics, and also the Virginia, excuse me 1 second, let me check my notes. The Virginia Manufacturers Association. Check it out. They have all this information for you to look into and make the decision for yourself.